It's a Mad Marge is the 21st episode of the 11th season of The Simpsons. And this is a pretty good episode. I don't love it. It's got 7.1 out of 10 on IMDb, which is a pretty average rating for this season, but certainly compared to the earlier seasons, it's very low. Directed by Stephen Dean Moore, and the narrative I think develops quite well. It starts off with a wedding at the Simpsons house. I don't know how much to give away without spoiling it, but Becky is getting married to somebody, and the wedding doesn't go according to plan. So to kind of make amends with this, they let Becky stay at the Simpsons house because, of course, she doesn't know where else she's meant to go at that point, as she has to pick the pieces of her life back together. And the Simpsons family, minus Marge, seem to just completely fall in love with Becky. She seems to be cooking dishes, making vegetarian meals for Lisa and spending time with Bart, and everybody just seems to love her. And Marge becomes really paranoid that Becky is trying to take her place, and she becomes so paranoid that she starts to think Becky is wanting to kill her. Now, what I love about this is that I can never quite work out when I'm watching it whether I think, I don't think it's immediately clear what Becky's intentions are, and if Becky is trying to take over Marge's place because, of course, she doesn't have anywhere else to go, or if Marge is just being paranoid. And I think it's very well written that you're allowed to make up your own mind for the most part, for the majority of the episode. And I think that that's a really good thing, and it kind of makes it very engaging. I remember the first time I saw it, being very curious to see how it would resolve itself. So it definitely is a very entertaining episode that kept me hooked right the way through it. I think there's probably an element of relatability too. I've never been in Marge's situation, but I imagine if you were known only for being a homemaker, for being a mother and a wife, unfortunately, Marge doesn't get too many opportunities to do other things, and then somebody comes along and starts doing the only thing that your family know you as. That's going to really put you out. Now, being paranoid about them murdering you maybe is a step too far, but it certainly made it very fascinating. I found it to be a very entertaining episode, very well written, definitely unpredictable. It definitely kept me engaged, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Yes, you can look at it from a more serious angle and analyse Marge's response and her mental health and how these things are affecting her, but you can also just watch it for the fun episode that it is, I think, and I really enjoyed it. That's not to say it's my favourite episode, not even my favourite episode from the 11th season, but I still think it's a Mad Marge is a pretty good episode, and one that I think I'll always be happy to watch.